Yesterday, I got faced with my first two 3,000 rated puzzles. The first one I almost got right, but failed. Let me show you. So this is it. And White's first move is this. Now, usually how it works with puzzles is that the computer will start off by making like a blunder or a mistake or whatever. And then every move after that, they play the top engine move. And you have to find the top engine move as well. So the first thing you might notice is that this knight looks like it's hanging. And make no mistake about it, that knight is hanging. That knight is straight up a free knight. So there's really no other better move in the position. I mean, this is there. That's a trade, but the best move is just to take this knight, and it 100% is free. Now, the next thing the computer plays is this: bishop takes f6. Now, White might just be a genius because it looks like our knight was defended, but it isn't, because we absolutely cannot take this bishop. If we take this bishop, it's a straight up mate in two for White after queen g4. Queen g4 is just a straight up mate in two, boom, game over. We can't take this bishop, so White may have been a genius and just won our pawn. But not really, because the next thing you notice is that this knight has two attackers and only one defender. Now, this rook is still hanging, and you can trade it for the bishop, but basically you don't want to do that. You don't want to take the rook because pretty much there's more important matters to attend to on your king side. You got a bishop swarming in here. You have two attackers on this pawn, first of all, with this bishop and this knight. And whenever there's knights within checking distance of your king, that's pretty much something you want to take care of before you go ahead and start taking pieces on the other side of the board. And I honestly didn't do too much calculating. I just went ahead and decided to take the bishop, which is the correct move. That's what you do. So after I took the knight with my bishop, White played queen h5, which is absolutely a move I did not see. And right after they played it, I was like, ooh, we're kind of in some trouble right now. So the first thing that I noticed is that our bishop is being attacked twice, and we're only defending it once. But that is the beginning of our problems. Only the beginning. Because the second thing is that this bishop is pinned to our queen by this queen. So if we move the bishop anywhere, we lose our queen, which is absolutely no good. And then the third thing, and the most important thing, is that this bishop is the only thing standing in the way of White playing queen h7 checkmate, because the White's bishop is attacking that square as well. So basically our objective is to, one, not get checkmated on the h7 square, and not lose our queen, and somehow save this bishop, because it's being attacked twice. That's basically what we got to do, all in one move. And there is a move that does it, and I did not find this move. I was stumped on this puzzle for like I don't know how long. I was calculating like a bunch of crazy stuff. I figured that it might even just be a queen sack. Like, I figured I was just going to sack my queen, and then they were going to take my bishop, and then I would take this, and then somehow I would maybe even get this rook in the end, because that's still hanging too. So I don't even remember what I played, but I think I played something like, queen takes bishop, which is just dumb. But anyway, there's only one winning move in this position, and it's the only move that keeps your advantage, because as of now, you are up a piece. So if you can find it, pause the video and go ahead. Okay, so I forgot to mention this when I was first recording this video, but it's important to note that the move is actually not pawn g6. So it looks like this move glues everything together, because we protect our bishop, we attack the queen, and we also prevent mate on h7. But after this move, queen h6, checkmate is unavoidable. So we have stopped mate on h7, but we have ran into a mate on g7 instead. So whatever move we make, it doesn't really matter. We can give a couple checks just for fun, and then, it doesn't matter what we do. It's checkmate. So if you found the move bishop to e4, then you're a 3,000 rated puzzle solving genius, and you're better than me, because that is the winning move. And this is brilliant. This is why this is a 3,000 rated puzzle, because you move your bishop to a square where it's attacked 2 different times. And the only reason that this works is because after this move, White's queen is hanging too. So after queen takes queen, you can go ahead, take their queen, and you're just up a clean piece. And this is just straight up winning. I mean, white's bishop is still hanging. This rook is hanging and banging. You know, you should just be good to go. So the next one I got right, and I think it's a little bit simpler because it's actually a checkmate in 4. Here it is, rated 3011. White's move is this. And it's always a good idea to start a puzzle by counting the material. So we have queen, rook, and bishop versus 2 rooks, knight, and queen. So we're down a whole rook, but we do have some checks to give. We absolutely have some checks to give, and if we don't checkmate, we're probably going to be in trouble because being down a rook in an endgame is not very good. So I think what makes this puzzle difficult is figuring out which check to start with. Because, I mean, white's king is pretty much wide in the open. Like, we can check him all over the place. So I think what makes this puzzle rated so highly is because you need to really figure out how to distinguish the difference between each of the checks that you have. So how many checks do you have? You've got this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, pretty much. I mean, you could give this check, but that's stupid. So let's just say that. So what's the difference here? What's the difference between all of these checks? So the question I asked myself was, where do I not want white's king to escape? So basically what I decided was I did not want this king shimmy sliding all the way over, you know, to the back rank here and getting safety, because if we run out of checks, then our being down a rook will come to haunt us. So I decided that the best check to give right now is queen d2. Boom. Which was right. And it's kind of hard to calculate what to do after rook blocks, because you know that you're going to have to move your queen eventually. And if it's not with check, you might be in trouble. But you got to stay patient. Now the queen is covering this square and this square, which is important. And only now do you bring your rook to f8. And the king is basically like totally cut off. It can go absolutely nowhere. Again, this bishop is a straight monster. It can go nowhere. So if you can check the king in this position, then it'll be checkmate. And just so happens we do have a check. 1 and then 2, and that's checkmate. Okay, so also a side note here is that white's queen is basically in no man's land. Like, she can do absolutely nothing. I mean, yeah, she's kind of threatening to take our bishop at the moment, but not anytime soon because we have all these checks to give. And also, straight up, shout out to this pawn here on b6. Shout out to this pawn. This pawn is a straight up hero. If this pawn wasn't here, we would not be able to checkmate right now. We would not be able to win this game if this pawn was not here. It blocks the queen's diagonal, the control over this dark square diagonal, and if this pawn wasn't here, we would not be able to win this game. Yeah, and that is what a 3011 rated puzzle looks like.